JayaShri, thank you for tuning in. So let me know if you can see and hear me clearly. Thank you, Gamkashri. So we will wait till our regular students show up for this session. JayaShri, welcome all of you. Thank you for tuning in. And let me know when you see and hear me clearly, and also I would like you to greet and say hello from wherever you are joining, so that we create an energetic connection. Hello Rambika, nice to see you, nice to connect with you. Wonderful. So let me know, today will be our fourth session on this topic, how to create a happy, healthy life. I have few topics planned in advance, and I'll be taking you through those topics with the kind of questions some of you have been asking me during the last few weeks. I was able to articulate some content for the day. So JayaShri, wishing everyone good health and well-being, welcoming everyone with love and kindness. Once again, thank you for tuning in. So I would like you to take a moment to connect with the inner dimension of yourself. I want you to connect with the inner you, the non physical dimension, the no body dimension. I would like you to take a moment. Take a moment to connect with that aspect of yourself. So you may take a couple of long deep breaths. Relax deeply, and if you can hear me clearly, best is to close your eyes for a moment, and then start taking your attention inwards. So let's take a couple of long deep breaths. Relax into your breathing. And I'm going to teach you a small body movement technique, we combine it with our intention. What is our intention? That is to connect with our inner dimension, the non-physical silence within us. Okay? So that's the first thing we are going to do today. So I'm going to teach you a small practice that you can incorporate into your day-to-day life. You can do it even at work or any time of the day, at home or at work. When you want to go within you and to sort of shut down or shut down from external noises, including your own thoughts, and to find that innermost peaceful silence which is ever present within you. When we are having too many thoughts running in our mind, when the water is disturbed, so to say, metaphorically, if our mind is like a pond, a water pond, and if there had been so many pebbles thrown into the pond, there's a lot of movement on the surface of the water, because it creates also some movement inside the water beneath the ripples as well. And when that happens, we cannot experience stillness. So now I'm going to teach you, combined with our intention and breathing, conscious, deliberate, intentional, long, deep breathing, combined with the physical movement. Usually I practice this several times of the day, mostly in the morning, and if I have a special assignment, like special work to do, I would do that before that activity. But I usually do it standing. Today we are going to do it seated. Okay? Today we are going to do it seated. So let me remind you the purpose of this exercise. Purpose of this exercise that I am teaching you is to help you bring all your energy towards that innermost silent dimension. No body self. The part of you which is beyond physical matter. That's the intention. But if our mind is too busy, too cluttered, we are not able to easily penetrate into that dimension. Like that water on the surface of a pond is unsettled. We have to wait till the water settles down. One natural and the easiest thing you can do any time of your life to bring stillness within you is to deliberately, consciously breathe. Breathe. You bring your attention away from your disturbing thoughts and train your brain to consistently to bring attention to your breath. When you bring attention to your breath, you are bringing attention to your body, physical body. But let's say you are very tired, or you are sleepy, or you are hungry, but you're supposed to center your energy. You're expected to bring your attention to yourself in a way that you feel balanced, you feel calm, you feel also energized. Okay? So whatever I'm teaching you, the first thing I'm teaching you today is a practice that you can incorporate any time of the day to bring that stillness. At the same time, you are energized. Let's say you're at work and you're supposed to deliver your duties effectively and efficiently. If that is the case, it is very important you remain calm, peaceful, balanced, and your mind is centered. At the same time, sometimes when we do certain breathing exercises, we feel extremely relaxed. But during work, so you cannot be too relaxed, because you're supposed to focus on a particular activity, and you've got to have enough energy and stamina and vitality to deliver the results. So neurologically and biologically, your body must create enough adrenaline, right? Norepinephrine, like this is the so-called stress hormone. The base of stress hormone, right? You got to have some tension and some energy moving in order to deliver results, to go towards a particular target. But if you are having too much of adrenaline created, too much of stress, the balance is lost. You are not happy and you are not healthy inside. You cannot deliver results. Maybe you will deliver, but not to your best ability. Right? So you are effective, but maybe you are not so efficient. Right? You somehow deliver, but you feel drained and tired. So if you practice what I'm going to teach you now on a regular basis, in the morning, during the day, and also at night, you will learn over a period of time this art of being extremely energized, like to deliver everything you want. You have enough energy. Even after delivering all what is expected from you, right? Achieving all that, you have enough energy to love, to have fun, to meditate, to exercise, to prepare a nice meal, to enjoy a nice meal, to socialize, to create something new. You have enough energy. You don't feel drained at the end of the day. Okay? At the same time, let's say you are driving your way back to work, and when you come home, maybe your spouse is not well, or your child is not well, or there is this emotional disturbance at home for some reason. You will be able to keep your cool. Okay? You will be able to keep calm, and even have a smile on your face no matter what. Right? You will know what to do to handle the social situation, handle the family problem, because you have enough energy. But not only because you have enough energy, because you also have that balance. You're centered like Mother Earth. You're super solid. Okay? Like an eagle. An eagle is flying. Okay? An eagle is flying. So this eagle has to be balanced, steady, also strong to deal with the tides of the wind. But it also has to let go, right? If it is too rigid about the wind, it will lose its balance, right? We have seen birds flying, and also we have seen how trees sway in the wind. So let's get to the practice. I recently incorporated this practice into my life, and I learned it from Qigong. So I have to give due merits to all those wonderful teachers. Qigong is a practice coming from China, and that is, I think, more than 4,000 years old. Now, there are many teachers around the world, wonderful people. I had the fortune of connecting with such a teacher. And I must admit, this beautiful practice called Qigong has brought magic to my life. I anyway have been living with this belief about my life, that this life is a miracle. It's nothing less than a magic and a miracle. I really believe it. I know it and I believe it. No matter what. So I like to hand over that belief to you. If you like, you can borrow that belief, that thought process from me, and incorporate it into your vocabulary in the brain. You can incorporate it into your belief system and live your life day in and out as if it's really a magic and a miracle, expecting miracles and really experiencing it. Sooner or later you will start experiencing it as if your own experience rather than just a thought. Okay? So with that gratitude to that practice and to the teachers from the beginning of the history, let us now do it together. Okay? Let me once again remind you why we do what we do right now. Intention is to bring attention to the self, the inner silent dimension. Why? When we bring our attention to that inner silent dimension, we feel calm, peaceful, stable, at the same time actually energized. Meaning, you are not way too relaxed that you fall into sleep, but you are relaxed and energized. This is the ideal balance you're supposed to have in your life, no matter what. Okay? Right. So let's do this. So what you do is you take your right palm, turn it upwards, and keep it. Usually, I remind you, usually we do it after certain intentional flow movements and at the end of a physical exercise regime of 20 minutes or 30 minutes. But I feel guided to teach you it now. Meaning you can use it even without doing any other exercise, but any time of the day you can just practice and can experience some benefits. So you keep your right palm turned upwards, open like this, but you keep it just below your navel center. Okay? Just below your navel center. Just below your navel center, and your body is straight. Spine is erect. Alright? Strong, solid, straight. You don't have any tilt of your head. Make sure you notice your head is an elongation of your spine and it is very well balanced on your neck. Right? No tilts, right in the middle. And both your feet fully on the ground. Fully on the ground. I want you to really feel you are like a tree and you are rooted to Mother Earth like a tree. So visualize you are like a tree rooted to Mother Earth like a tree, and you have your spine straight, head balanced, shoulders relaxed, and your right palm upwards, like turned upwards like this, and it's kept like this right below the navel. It's turned like this, and let's say this is your navel center, you're going to keep it like this. Okay? This is your spine, this is your body. Keep this palm like this, right? Okay? And then you use your left palm just notice what I'm doing. As you breathe in, you take your hand in circular motion and bring it to the center. You make a circle from the left hand, right? And bring it to the center as you breathe out. You're going to do it. You're going to change your hands every breath and continue to do it. So your left hand will go like this and like this. Then you're going to keep your left hand underneath, just below your navel center, and you use your right palm to bring the energy into the center. So you are using your hand to collect all the positive energy, all the monopole energy in the universe, and bring it to the center. You use your right hand, bringing the energy to the center, right? As you bring your hand down like this, you are breathing out. Breathing in and out. So change your hands and continue to breathe with your eyes closed. Long deep breaths. And the most important thing is you do it as slowly as possible. You don't have to do it fast. Just be mindful if you are feeling like doing it fast. If there's no flow, be mindful if there's no flow. It should be flowing like a river. So slow down with your breath and your spine straight. Feet fully on the ground. Do it very slowly, gently. Let it naturally come. We are going to do this breathing for around 1 minute. As you raise your hand, you collect all that good energy and you bring it into your center. Breathing in as your hand go up and breathing out as it comes down. Really tune in to this move. Let it naturally flow. We are going to do it a few more times. So we are going to do it 3 more times. You are aligning all the energies to your central vertical and your spine. Charging your nervous system with this energy. Long deep breaths in and out. Wonderful. Now keep both palms on your navel center. So you cover your navel center with both your palms and sort of absorb all that energy into your center, emotional center. your stomach region, your sacral chakra. You breathe in deeply into your sacral chakra or into your stomach. In the Qigong practice, we call it the Tandan, the energy center where all energies are preserved like a reservoir. So if we take care of our gut center or sacral chakra, we call it in the chakra discussion. If we know how to harness the power of this energy, chi energy, or this creative life force energy source within us, we can live a very happy, healthy, balanced life. That is the understanding. So as you breathe in, you can feel your stomach expands and your hands are coming out. You can feel stomach expands. As you breathe out, you squeeze the stomach in and release all that is no longer serving you. With every breath, you are creating new space for new health, vitality, and joy. When you breathe out all that is no longer serving you. Once more, you are breathing in, creating new space for new possibilities in life. As you breathe out all what is no longer serving you, all that is no longer serving you. You release it completely, and you bring your hands together in front of your chest. I'm going to give you another energy activation technique. Now you can open your eyes and see what I'm doing. So you turn your palms like this. Okay? So do it with me. Breathe deeply and you press your palms together. Activate the energy centers in your palm. You use your palm to do everything, right? When you're cooking, when you care, basically you cannot necessarily do anything without these palms. It's very important. We activate the energy centers in our palm. So combined with what we did earlier, now we feel very balanced and centered. We're going to activate the energy that gives us to make things happen, right? Wonderful. Since a lot of my followers are ladies, we know the nature of women, mostly for women, this is a problem, that we carry other people's emotions, right? We try to take in everything from others. We think sometimes mothering or nurturing or loving is all about absorbing other people's negative energy and suffer. I've seen that happen to many women, including my mother and including myself in the past. We have learned it from our mothers, right? The female role models in our life, that nurturing or loving is all about taking in other people's crap, so to say. But you don't have to. You can hold space and have empathy. At the same time, you can nurture them. This is a misunderstanding. This is why many women suffer with loads of physical ailments, weight issues, right? Sleeping issues, skin disorders, and even cancer, because accumulated resentment denial of their true, beautiful, authentic self within, make them feel extremely vicious and poisonous after a while. And I've noticed this with many women, especially after age 35, 40. They get into an extremely bad vicious cycle because they never learn to break it much earlier. So if you feel resonated with this information, I suggest you break free from it. So now we've got a lot of energy activated. I know there are some of you who have learned Reiki from us or from anywhere in the world. So you know how to feel energy in your palm, right? But even without that, even if you're not a Reiki practitioner or energy worker, I want you to keep your palms like this and feel the difference now. And let me know in the chat, or rather the comment box, how you feel now. I'm going to give you one more technique, right? Just notice how you feel between your palms. Maybe there's a heat, maybe there's like a vibration or pulsation, right? So ideally, now that we started working from our gut, right, our sacral chakra or our Tanden, we call it in Qigong, in Chinese energy movement practice, we call Tanden. Even in Reiki, we refer to the energy center in our stomach region as Tanden, right? So keep your palms few inches away from your stomach center and hold your palms facing each other and notice what you feel in your hands. And let me know what you feel in your palms, so in between your hands or palms. And especially those of you who continued the practice from the beginning can let me know what you feel now when you sat down to listen to this live session at the beginning and how you feel now. So let me know what you notice in your body and what you notice in your mind after doing certain energy activation exercises, as well as balancing or centering exercise. Right, so April, Rangika, Gamkushu, you can let me know what you are noticing in this exercise. Right? It helps me to give you another technique, another energy activating technique that you can use any time of the day to center, to balance, to connect with that inner dimension, meaning you are at ease, you are in the flow of life, but you also have a lot of energy to get things done or make things happen. Balance, right? Balance is the key. So if you did the practice with me during the session, please put it in the comments and let me know what you're noticing now. Now, another energy activating exercise, this is especially for, I think, for females, but it's not only for females, even for men. Especially if you feel that you are someone who's just taking in, absorbing in other people's dysfunctional energies. Let's say someone is sad, you feel it too much. Someone's angry, you feel agitated. Someone is out of their balance, like anxious or worried, you carry it. At the end of the day, you are tired not because you achieved a lot of stuff in your life, but because you were dealing with people who were not in their center, so to say. Right? Throughout our lives, especially for those of you who are working and having children and business, right? A family. Certainly, from morning to evening, what you're doing when you're engaging with other people is you're dealing with their emotions as well. When you say I'm helping someone with their problem, you unconsciously carry the emotional baggages other people are carrying. Although you are not necessarily feeling angry or unhappy or sad or frustrated, you end up taking it in. We teach this in Reiki practice, especially for those who are preparing to become healers and energy workers, how to protect your energy body, because integrity of your energy system, energy body, is the basis of health and vitality. Let me repeat it to you. Integrity of your energy body or aura, the unseen body, is the basis of your health, vitality and well-being. Let me repeat it once more. I usually, if it is something very important, I say it 3 times, right? Integrity of your energy body, in other words, the aura, the unseen body, but it is there at the energetic extension of yourself. Integrity of that system is the basis of health, happiness, vitality and well-being. Okay, so that's why just because people eat so many good food, take a lot of supplements, go to a gym, right, go through a diet program, eat so-called good stuff, eat the right amount with all the physical things, having done all of it, still people lose their balance. Maybe they're not happy. Maybe they're anxious, as April has mentioned here. Someone has mentioned something here about anxiety, right, and maybe depression. So all of those psychological imbalances is coming as a result of not knowing how to maintain the integrity of your energy system. So now let me give you another technique how to, right, this is not something you have to do in the morning, but during the day and especially in the evening. Okay, and especially if you have gone out and been with other people and you have had to deal with a lot of people issues, relationship issues. So do it with me. I really like if you can comment after doing these practices and let me know what you experience right now, right here. Otherwise, I don't know whether it's working for you or not, right? So just mention what you are feeling after doing this practice. So you're taking your wrist, the 2 wrists, and then rub it, right? You're going to rub the wrist. You can even do this, but the best way is to sort of rub this way. Okay? Even this way rubbing is okay, but mostly this, just like what we did earlier with our palms. That is activating. That is like getting that energy. Even I feel that rush of energy. I wonder if you notice that in me. Okay, but this is wrist. Really intend to sort of clear things that you have absorbed from others, which is not your stuff. You don't have to take in other people's stuff, right? You don't absorb their stuff. Let other people handle their issues, but you don't have to carry it in your system. Fascinating, right? And notice what you feel in your hands, especially, and also inside of you, like in your center. Fascinating. There's another energy technique I've learned recently and practicing. You take your fingertips and start rubbing them. You start rubbing them like this. Okay. Start rubbing your fingertips like this. Do let me know if you were able to practice all the things with me together during this session, what you are noticing in your body and in your mind. Yeah. So April says, how do you stop yourself from slipping back to anxiety and stay positive and proactive? I just spent a week home from work due to exciting stuff going on with friends been doing it for years. So yes, April, it's a big answer. Maybe I'm going to answer you throughout the session today. So the first thing is that anything to do with anxiety or depression or emotional imbalance, I want you to know it is both physical as well, right? It's physical and it is energetic. So whatever you are doing to overcome anxiety, depression, panic attacks and other emotional disturbances, you got to take a very holistic approach. I think I covered quite a lot of topics in depth in previous sessions. So things that I recommend, of course, people to get their thinking right is to learn a subject like NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. So why do I recommend it? That is what I know very well. That is what I learned around 14 years ago, and during a time that I was going through depression. So I applied psychology. So those two subjects, God helped me to redefine my life and what I thought happened in my life. You know, our brain, one function of our brain is that it has the ability to give meaning to things. Our brain has the ability to give meaning to things. So hear me out very clearly. If you are saying that you are suffering emotionally, like you have emotional disturbances in your life, you're not happy, therefore you don't feel really healthy, that simply says, excuse me and forgive me for using some basic words here, the meaning giving process you have been doing in your brain, right? The meaning you have been attributing to your life, it was really screwed. Right? You have been having fairly negative self-talk about yourself and about life and life in general. I remember explaining this in my previous, last week's session. So why do people give really screwed up meanings to their life as to what happened to them in their life? It is because we keep on distorting, deleting and generalizing data that is coming into our system. So on what basis do we delete, distort and generalize? The more than 2 million bits of data, our brain is exposed to more than 2 million bits of data in a given moment. So on what basis do we keep deleting, distorting and generalizing? Memories, beliefs, values, past decisions, even our gender identity. So all those things, all those filters, so to say, affect our filtering process. If from my childhood I believed that I'm not good enough, and from my parents, teachers, siblings, associates, I've received a lot of feedback, but I remember the negative ones easily. Let's say if I remember the negative feedback easily, I'm going to have a belief about my life that life is difficult for me, life is not fair, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I have to work hard to achieve something, world is not fair, world is a bad place, people are hurting me, I'm not lovable. So we end up creating these kind of beliefs and we hold it until we die. Unless you become enlightened about those beliefs, they are going to keep you in darkness. They are going to imprison you in those mental models about life, about self, and about the world at large. Mental models. So if you have really screwy mental models about life, self, body, world at large, you're not going to be happy and healthy. You are going to manifest a mental, emotional, or physical imbalance one way or the other. I know it very well. I've gone through the hell. I know how exactly I've created my hell, the prison, the darkness. Fortunately, I was not afraid of that darkness. Fortunately, I had the capacity to ask the right question at the right time. So instead of asking why me, I asked, how is this happening? What can I do? What's the message behind this pain? So in your life also, I keep repeating this in all my sessions. If you have a pain, congratulations. That means life is calling you towards a purpose in life. That's exactly what I did in my life. Translating pain to purpose, pain to purpose, pain to purpose. This is possible. So many people who walked on this planet of Earth did that. There are millions of people doing what I'm telling here. So you are also doing it. Okay? So it's all in your brain, and if you know how your brain works, you can crack it. But I was a psychologist too. I knew how, let's say, if not the brain, I knew how the mind works most of my life. I knew a lot of stuff about mind, but I still struggled, right? And I'm still learning a whole lot of things about life and mind and brain and body. It's never ending. So people like us are here to tell you that you can learn about mind, the psychology, you can learn about neurology, you can learn about the body, and you can have a good life by learning those things because you know what's happening in your life, in your body, in your mind, in your brain. So you can change intentionally your ways of being and have a good life. But people like us are here to add another dimension. I'm not the first person to say that. There have been so many other teachers who have been emphasizing the importance of finding that inner dimension of who you are, which is beyond mind, body, brain. But you have to use mind, body, brain to realize that dimension beyond all that. Okay? It's important to understand and learn how to connect with the energy dimension of who you are. Right? The energy. So you move your hands like this. Can you perceive the energy movement between your palms? It's a physical movement. Of course, you're stimulating your nerve ends, but can you perceive the energy? It's an art, it's a science. It takes practice. Okay? Right. So with that, let me take you through the important topics I wanted to cover today. Now, some of you are aware, and for some of you this is new about me. Last year, that is year 2020, I was nominated by one of my students apparently, and I was selected as a speaker for TED Women 2020, which is an international forum. Of course, it happened in an online platform. So I was the speaker from Sri Lanka, and I had to go through quite an interesting process of fine-tuning my topic with a local group of organizers of the TED event, the TED Colombo group. A nice, energetic, very purposeful, very kind-hearted group of young men and women. I had to work with them. So we were discussing and really, they were sort of moderating, so to say, and helping me out as to what the topic should be and what is the normal structure and nature of TED Talks, etc. So I had to go through several discussions to fine-tune a topic, but I have been a speaker on TV, right? I have been a speaker for most of my life, so I naturally speak. I don't prepare. I've done guest speeches. You know me, most of you, so I just deliver what I know. But it's different because a huge concept, like a big concept, I just have to present it within, let's say, 5 minutes. So anyway, so we went through this process, and finally I decided to talk about something very basic. So my TED talk last year was about gratitude. The importance of feeling grateful. Because when I truly reflected about my life, and I asked myself, yes, I know these grand schemes of mental models, philosophies, thought processes, theories about life, right, spirituality. But I was like, so what? I know all that stuff, but what can I share with the world that anyone can practice any time in their life and can experience miracles? And I really had to be honest with myself. about that one thing I know for a fact that can change someone's life. Leaving all psychology, philosophy, and other things that I know, I have learned and practiced and known, is that one thing. And that finally boiled down to those two words, thank you. Like my ultimate prayer is feeling grateful almost every time of the day. That deep gratitude, and like a music in my head, like thank you. Even when I face with a say challenge or a problem, I remember even in the past, I just thank the experience. Let's say someone hurt me, those days, right? Someone hurt me and abused or disturbed my life in some way. I remember I used to really thank those people and situations. And just a few days back, I end up seeing a scientist specializing in neurology and basically a neuroscientist, quite a well-known person in USA, presenting scientific facts about gratitude. I was so happy. I mean, after the TED Talk was last year November, so 1 year gone, so many people have watched that video on YouTube as well as on TED portal, and it has definitely communicated a message to the world, especially at a time like this in the world. But I never knew, somewhere down the line, that I will hear a neuroscientist talking about the importance of gratitude. In their labs, what they have observed, what happens in human brain when they go into a deep sense of gratefulness. And they have anyway found there is a certain neurological wiring. There is a certain sort of activity, brain activity specifically happening in our brain when it comes to social behaviors, relationships, that really helps happy, healthy human relationships. There is a brain circuit that is responsible for happy, healthy, peaceful, joyful, meaningful, nurturing human relationships. There is a brain circuit. That's why we like to connect with people. That's why we want love and we want to love. Even if we are very self-sustained and totally independent, at the end of the day we want to share and care, right? So these scientists have found out that when a person in the experiment, right, asked to think of a grateful scenario and really connecting with those stories of gratitude, not just saying thank you for things they have in their life, but connecting with a story, either themselves, like one of their past stories in life about a situation where someone thanked them for something that they have done, or they have seen a very inspiring story, someone else's life, someone else receiving gratitude for what they have done. It's a different response in the brain, but either way, when these people, when they connect with such stories of gratefulness in human life, that particular brain circuit that supports healthy relationships light up. And of course, not only this particular person that I'm referring, but there have been many other neuroscientists supporting this idea. In gratefulness, in gratitude, people create a lot of this happy hormone. There are many so-called happy hormones in our body. There are stress hormones and there are also happy hormones. One of that is called oxytocin. Now, maybe some of you are aware, and if you are not aware, let me say it in a very simplified manner. Oxytocin is one of those hormones that is created in bonding, when we are bonding with people and even animals. When living beings bond and love and nurture and connect, this happy hormone is created. And say usually a lot of that particular bonding hormone is created in mothers, like new mothers with newborn babies. They're supposed to be connected with the baby to give that safe, loving feeling for the baby. And there are also a lot of research that supports the idea, it is the research confirms one of the in fact in certain researches it is considered as the number one. What is the number one reason or cause of a healthy long life? So they have observed people in certain countries, including Japan and especially Okinawa and certain areas of the world where they hear reports about people living a long life, like 120, generally above 100, and they are not only living long life, but they are healthy. Like in their old age, they look wonderful. They feel happy. They are very purposeful. They still serve a purpose in their old age. Even recently, I saw Tony Robbins referring to a wonderful woman in her 107th age. She's 107 years old and a yoga teacher. Right? She looks glamorous. She looks glamorous for her age. There's a massive, beautiful energy about that person, right? So scientists have done research about fact-finding about as to the main reasons of a long, healthy life. What makes people live long? We would think about food, nutrition, exercise. In fact, many research reports that I've read does not mention, they do not mention about these facts, these variables. At least two of the research papers that I've read highlights the importance of happy, healthy human relationships. Right? They also have found out, I know I'm deviating slightly away from the topic, but it's not a deviation, right? We are talking about living happy, healthy, so it's not a deviation. I'm just telling a lot more details. They also have found out, and it's my observation, forget about researchers, like scientific researchers, but my observation also is that people who have a purpose in their life, a purpose, a mission, a vision, they have a purpose beyond their egoistic sense of self. We call it egoistic altruism. One of the most effective stress management strategies. You read literature about stress management strategies, long-term stress management strategies. Egoistic altruism is one of them. You have a purpose beyond your egoistic sense of self, to serve others, to make the life of others better. Not about just me doing my job very well, earning more money, next year earning more money, and next year earning more money and building so many houses for my children, my family. That is also a purpose. Yeah, you got to take care of your family and really love them. But purpose here is something beyond your identification of yourself and the people that you identified with. The larger humanity, right? It technically has nothing to do with you. So people who have a purpose, right, they're bound to build truly nurturing, safe, healthy connections with the world, with others. So as a result of that, apparently, they have found that one big reason for a long life is loving relationships. Now, my experience on this is that none of us can really have loving relationships with others without finding true, meaningful, purposeful, stable, solid connection with ourselves. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I know about myself. So, from my childhood, I also looked for validation and love from people outside me, including mother, father, brother, sister, relatives, friends, teachers, then spouse, the boyfriends, the associates, the workers. Validation, love and recognition from validation from others. It seems like it's the most natural thing to do. That if I want to feel loved, it should come from someone else. So this is why I said I don't know about you, but I know about myself. I was looking for that love for many years and gave up because I was tired, because I never found it from outside. Even if I got it, it was temporary. You were not too sure about it next day. There was no assurance. You know what? If you have children, I want you to know, if you have children, your children feel that way about you. I want you to know that. You may think you are the most loving mother, father to your children, but your children actually, in their innermost heart, they don't have that assurance that you really love them. None of us will ever have that assurance, because no one else can really love us but ourselves. So who can really find that love and give that love to others when needed, with permission, is someone who has established that connection with that innermost dimension, the self beyond the mental, emotional and physical form, physical structure, mental, emotional, physical structure. There is a self beyond that. And when you connect with that source of energy within you, for the first time in your life, you know what it means to be really loved. You think your parents unconditionally love you? I don't agree. I'm sorry, I don't. How many times from morning to evening, during a lifetime of a child, the parents have condemned them, rejected them, hurt them, abused them, manipulated them, used them. How many times? Oh, it had happened to me many times and still it is happening. But it doesn't affect me now because I have found myself. But given the opportunity, my parents continue to do that because that is what they learned as children from their parents. And I came to change the story. I suffered so much I know the pain. So I didn't join the bandwagon of continuously talking about pain. I decided I'm going to break this karmic cycle and end my game here. I'm done. But I'm certainly going to rewrite a new story for the future. I'm going to redo my DNA. That was my inspiration, because I know the pain. I knew the pain to my bones and every cell in my body. The soul was in a dark place, lost. But I always knew that is not me. Even as a little girl, I knew that. So every family, I think especially anyone connecting with me real time right now, today, 27th November, year 2021. Someone's connecting with me right now and hearing these words. I want you to know, you are that change agent, born to your family lineage, who's going to break the cycle. I want you to know that. If it is not the case, there's no way you can connect with me, even energetically. I know it. You can't. You can't. So you can be happy and say thank you to all your pains and sufferings. Just say thank you to your pains and suffering. Say I love you to your own suffering self. And tell your inner child, I'm sorry and please forgive me for this feeling. So let me hand over a technique to you. Gratitude, feeling grateful, yes. About everything we have, yeah. But we have to go one more extra mile. Beyond just feeling grateful for the things that we have. Because truth is that we actually have everything we want in life. So ideally we must be feeling grateful every time, all times. So your seeing, your vision, your philosophy about life should really change the way you give meaning to life experiences. The meaning you gave to your life experiences in the past decided who you are today. So if you don't like yourself, your life, the world you're living, change the meaning you give to your life experiences. It requires a new philosophy. And that is where people like us come in. And that's why we keep talking, right? Why should we otherwise? We are at bliss. We can just be. We technically don't need to do anything specifically. But we know there are people who are waiting to receive this bliss. So we feel it's our duty and we shine with love. So let me go one more step about this gratitude business, right? So this recent findings, scientific findings about the importance of gratitude, what the neuroscientists have figured out, right? What they're saying is there is a much better way of practicing gratitude as a daily mental exercise. There's a much better way. I like to word it that way, right? Rather than saying there is an ineffective way of doing a gratitude practice versus there's an effective way. I don't like that word ineffective. So I would like to say there is a much better way of doing a gratitude practice every day as a mental exercise, as a meditative exercise that can change your life for better, that can make your life healthy and happy, and everyone around you too. That exercise is this. Like, this is what they have figured out. They say that a proper gratitude practice is not listing down all the things you have in your life which you feel grateful about. Starting from sun and the moon and the air and the water, Mother Earth, the food, the money, your children, the clothes, the teachers. It's not only about just saying thank you to all those things you have in your life. In fact, they say it is an ineffective way. I don't like to call it an ineffective way. At least you have to start from that place, right? Especially if you're struggling with your hormones and the emotions, the drama of life, you have to start from somewhere. Just sitting back and saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you God, thank you life, whatever. You got to start from somewhere. But the most appropriate technique is this. That is, I told you, our brain is wired to give meaning to things. Do you think we just I mean, it's quite a random thing that we have stories running in our head all the time? No, it's a hard wiring thing. Our brain is consistently creating something out of nothing. So those of you who are on the path of enlightenment, and specifically those seekers, can understand this fully. Our brain is always creating something from nothing. Okay? We are contextualizing things all the time, every time. What we call life is a subjective experience. When I say my life is wonderful, 10 people outside of me will curse me and will, hurt me, and he might even abuse me or even not be friends with me for making that statement because they feel they are suffering in hell in this world. But I'm saying I'm so happy and healthy. That is because the world that we say is created in our head. It's individual, it's personalized, based on those filters I mentioned to you earlier. So, the most appropriate gratitude practice is, according to these neuroscientists, you're supposed to create a narrative in your head about a grateful scenario. A narrative means a story. Say, in a given time, you will sit back, relax, eyes open or closed. Let's say preferably eyes closed. You are thinking about a specific narrative, a story of someone receiving gratitude for what they have done. Or in your own life, you have done something where someone has deeply appreciated what you have done. And you remember that story, of the whole story, the details of that story, right? Like a little movie in your head, running in your head. You remember the details of that story of someone thanking you. But they say, ideally it should be a story where you are thinking about another human being thanking someone else for what they have done. and you close your eyes and think of that story of appreciation of a human being for something wonderful another human being has done, and you feel so good about that. Observing gratitude being practiced in life, you feel so wonderful. So the neuroscientists say that that is the ideal, that's the most appropriate gratitude practice that can actually bring about a huge transformation, including physical health in your life. And these scientists confirm that continued gratitude practice can reduce inflammation in your body. I confirm it 10 times or 100 times. I endorse that. Feeling grateful, deeply grateful for all the good things mankind is doing to each other, just even seeing the good news in the TV, reading that inspiring story about someone totally, unassuming, helping someone and keeping the promise of humanity. That heals our heart. They have checked this thing called, obviously you can check the heartbeat and the coherence, heart coherence, right? It changes with gratitude. When you are grateful, apparently your heartbeat's going to a very steady momentum, not heavily fluctuating like in lust or anger or too much of motivation, excitement, and all that. With gratitude, apparently it brings to a very harmonious rhythm. And some refer to this as the brain-heart coherence. They have studied, observed in the subjects in the labs, right? So let me repeat it to you. Importance of feeling grateful is key to a happy, healthy life. It is a scientific finding now. Thank you. I really thank. I wrote a big comment to this scientist and said I'm so grateful. I thought I just, my TED talk here 2020 was, part of me felt like, oh, wow, what if it was so basic, right? So simple. Because that is really what I know about life. One thing that can change the world, feeling grateful. But only just this week I found out that there are enough of research recently done, and they are highlighting people like Andrew Huberman and Dr. Joe Dispenza, right? And even some people like Greg Baden. They are talking about this beautiful phenomenon, and they are scientifically explaining. It's validated. So if you have been waiting for a scientific validation to feel grateful, it's your time to do it, right? Don't delay it. They have figured out that feeling grateful can physically heal you. I know it. Thank you for that. Thanks to that confirmation. We really want to appreciate that effort. I knew it all my life. And when you're worrying and nagging and complaining, whining, and always thinking about what you don't have, what went wrong, you're poisoning yourself. You're preparing yourself to become a sick person when you get older. And if you're already physically having some discomforts, you're preparing yourself to aggravate it. Okay? So the time is running out. Let me also highlight a few other important topics for the day. I recently figured out, I knew it, again, this is something I knew, but this time I am confirming it, reconfirming it with my experience. If you thinking about a really healthy body and a healthy mind, certainly, and then a healthy life, right? Healthy relationship, to live life happily and healthy, you've got to really work out your spine. The yoga practice, we know how old that is, confirms it. Qigong practice is the most beautiful energy movement, body movement exercise I, so far, up to this moment, have come across. This is my personal endorsement. My endorsement. It's like magic for me. Many times I was talking even today and referring to the power of that practice. Qigong practice is not like this Western running exercises, weight training, toning the body at the cost of your true well-being, trying to make a body look picture perfect. No, nothing like that. Qigong practice is slow, steady, and a flow. I have been a person who have gone to gyms, done weight trainings, to all that jazz, but nothing like this. And it really works out your spine. I also have practiced Kundalini Yoga a few years ago, and I can endorse that too. And I am a person who have experienced, if you really love this woo-woo fancy stuff, I don't mind putting it across openly, right? People know we have evolved way beyond from that era where Kundalini activation was a big thing. No, it's not now. Right? It's a new age. We saw this new age at the year 2012. Now we're 2021. I'm reconfirming it. So Kundalini Yoga is one fascinating, yet another powerful body movement exercise method that helps twist and turn and squeeze and really activate your spine and keep it healthy. I feel, as much as I told you about integrity of your energy body, for me is the basis of a happy healthy life. I would also say basis of a healthy body is really on a healthy spine. So any exercise that compromise the energy that flows in your central vertical channel is to be considered with precaution. Any exercise. I don't want to go into details. Anything that makes your spine hurt and you don't feel comfortable at the end of the day after doing that exercise, especially your back muscles, I think you're doing something wrong. Be it even yoga or any other practice. But my experience again with even Hatha Yoga and things like that, I'm not a fan of Hatha Yoga personally. I rather choose Kriya Yoga, which is a natural thing for me, or Kundalini Yoga, which is to do with breath and really work your spine move. And I have fallen in love with Qigong practice in the recent past. So if you are having an exercise regime that compromises your spine and back muscles, aches and pains, I really want you to consider. This is my most recent understanding, and I'm reconfirming something I have known before. When you twist, turn and activate your spinal cord in a regular manner, it releases all energy blockages that you're holding on. So those energy blockages essentially represent mental, physical, emotional, and also spiritual. This is why I'm reconfirming, just like last week, continuous exercises and body movement. Even, let's say you don't know any Kriya Yoga, you don't know Kundalini Yoga, you're not into Qigong, nothing, it's okay. At least daily walks in the nature. Just a walk would do, right? Or just dancing your way out to a nice song. I even suggest people to just to dance and really, rhythmically dance, because when we were children we did not know any Latin dance or salsa or udarata patrata and all this right, fancy dance movements. When we were children, we were just naturally dancing using our body rhythm. So maybe even dancing is a good exercise. Please use your body constantly, frequently, daily basis. Move it. Otherwise, the energy gets stagnant. Okay? Now about cleaning vegetables and fruits, I re-emphasize the importance of avoiding sugar, processed food, and bad oils. I suggest people eat whole lot of whole foods and fresh vegetables and fruits. I prefer a vegetarian diet, but it is not a must. I'm not endorsing any vegetarianism here. I'm not. You're free to eat whatever you like to eat until you experiment with your own soul evolving journey, and then you decide what is the best for your food that supports your energy and your heart and soul as well. But many researchers are there confirming the health benefits of eating long-term vegetarian diet, long-term vegetarian diet. Apparently it is safer and it makes you much healthier. And for your information, marketing has made this bad mix in our head, and we have believed them to be real, that milk is calcium and you have to have milk to have calcium. It's a false idea, just a marketing concept that they have embedded in our head from our early days. It's not true. Please do your own research and find out for yourself. Whatever the fresh vegetables and variety of leafy greens, when we eat a variety of fresh vegetables and fruits, we get enough of calcium and even protein. There are enough of plant-based protein powders these days available, really good stuff, right? And of course in Sri Lanka we have access to a large range of leafy greens and vegetables that really gives us all the nutrients we need. So it's a lie, it's a myth to say you have to eat fish and chicken and all that stuff to get protein. There are enough of people living a super healthy life based on plant-based proteins. However, I told you I'm not here to promote vegetarianism or veganism, not at all. I experiment with all types of food anyway. I'm a free soul. I'm free to experiment with anything. I don't hold on to any dogma or any belief system. But my experience, especially if you're a woman about 40 and struggling with menopause and hormones, I can confirm vegetarian diet or a vegan diet is ideal. Forget about vegan, but a vegetarian diet, right? Mostly vegetarian diet can help your hormonal balance reset. But more protein, and especially eggs and things like that, and milk can actually disturb your hormonal balance. This is my experience. I can confirm it to you, and there are enough of research that validates it, okay? So, many people buy food for a week, right? Usually they say they are busy, so they end up buying for a week and they store all that in the fridge. So as an energy worker, I've been an energy worker, most of you know that, for 12 plus years, and I've healed thousands of people using energy, and I still do that, at least verbally. I don't need to touch a person or even physically keep my hand on a person to heal. I can just send thoughts and heal someone, right, if they really want it. This is what I've noticed about our eating habits and buying, like consuming process, so to say, consuming habits. This stocking a lot of food is not a very good idea. One thing, we end up stocking a lot of processed foods, which is not really good for us. You please minimize and finally remove all processed food. If you really love yourself and your children and life and the world at large, experiment it. Right? Eat whole foods for a week and see, notice what happens. Remove sugar, remove dairy, remove wheat flour, and just eat of vegetables and fruits and experience for a week what happens to yourself when you do that. Okay? So even vegetables and fruits, once they have been picked up from the farm and been transported to the supermarket and packed and comes to your home, there had been a huge time gap from the time they were harvested, and when you receive it, more than 2 weeks, right, sometimes. So the life force energy of these vegetables, I know it, right? There's a concept called life force energy. We all have it, and every living thing has it. So imagine, from the time of when they are in the tree, they are having high level of life force energy, right? Their ability to sustain life is high. So you remove it from the tree, you are cutting it from the source. It reduces, and then in the traveling process, many people touch it, meddle with it, and a lot of chemicals and other, water, even the water, chlorine-based water that is used to clean these vegetables and fruits really have disturbed the molecule structure of these vegetables and fruits. So by the time you eat, it's not the same source of energy that they're supposed to give us, the vegetable or fruit supposed to give us. You are eating a distorted molecule. This is why, we have so much of organic stuff, we have so much of technology around agriculture, we eat a lot of good stuff. Are we really happy and healthy? I don't know. I really don't know. I remember when I was a child, my father had a farm, like a garden, like farm means vegetable garden, right? He did some business, a small business, and he's so good in agriculture. It's in his blood. Even I'm so good in it. Actually, I wish I can have a huge garden. Right now I have only a small garden. So I remember when I was small, I did my studies very well, but I studied in a small little hut made by my father. Like a tiny hut, just with bamboo and things like that. So I go and sit in that vegetable garden. Crops, the crops are coming up. It's harvesting time, so a lot of birds come. So I would sit in one of those little huts and study, because I love to be in nature. Plus, yes, he has fixed one of those, we call it takaya, like a bell. So you kind of keep ringing to keep away the birds. A lot of parrots used to come to eat the long beans, mackerel we call it. So I remember watering these plants, and I have never tasted such goodness in my life after my childhood. How tasty those vegetables and fruits were. We mostly eat organic stuff here, but I cannot put my finger into the kind of experience I had as a child, because that neurology is very hardwired and it's in my system. So I know the taste of a really good quality fruit or vegetable. It's no longer the case. Anyway, we have distorted and destroyed Mother Earth through chemicals. So the richness of our soil is really distorted. So all the plants also genetically modified. So what we are mostly eating is really a distorted and disturbed molecule structures, right? We are consuming such stuff. So you end up eating so many processed foods also on top of that. I think really is unhealthy. Think about these things, right? What do I do anyway? Yeah, that's a long story. I get carried away when it comes to agriculture, Mother Earth, and fruits and vegetables. I can get carried away. It's very, very sensitive. It's a very sensitive topic. I really feel for the earth. I do my best, but I can do in my home like this to be a responsible citizen in this world through my consumption. So I can vote through my money. I can decide where my money goes as a consumer. So I'm promoting it is really good for us now and for the future. One method I use to clean vegetables that I consume, fruits and vegetables, is that I take a big bowl of water, like a basket of water, preferably metal or copper containers. It's not easy to find, but even if it is a metal one, it's better, or glass, right, or plastic if you don't have. So you put the water, you keep it overnight until the water settles, right, and then you put salt, you put some turmeric, also you put some neem leaves if you have. Neem leaves, essentially kohomba, you know that. I am a great advocate for kohomba. Right, I mean, I really what do you call it, like, yeah, I keep on promoting it. It's such a powerful medicine, right? So you put some neem leaves into this water and keep it overnight. So when you want to consume the fruits and vegetables, you put the fruits and vegetables for around 10 to 15 minutes and take it out and then consume. You don't wash your fruits and vegetables with the chlorine water. Chlorine is essentially there to kill the bacteria. And our gut, in our stomach, we have millions of bacteria which are healthy as well for us. These bacteria are sustaining the gut health, gut microbiome we call it. So if you disturb it with chemicals, loads of chemicals, you lose the diversity of your microbiome, right, in your gut. So what happens as a result of that, all the hormonal imbalances and other sicknesses that people nowadays take medications for, essentially is a problem that has started with the unhealthy gut. So make sure you wash your fruits and vegetables with, of course, people who have well water, wonderful, you are fortunate, you can easily use that water. But if you are having this chlorine water running through the taps, you better adopt a practice like what I've suggested. One more important thing for the day, there's something called food timeline. So food timeline is you notice what you feel before consuming food. Let's say half an hour before consuming food, what you feel in your body and your stomach. You are aware, you are mindful about how exactly you feel in your mind and body, especially body. Of course, the way you feel in your body affects your mind, but the way, let's say, emotions, right? So you become aware. You're fully aware as to what you feel before a meal, just before a meal or half an hour before a meal. And when you take the first bite, what you feel in your body. Then the second bite, third bite, and of course consecutive bites. And then after consuming, just after consuming, how do you feel in your body? You notice, you become aware. Then after half an hour, how do you feel? How's your mind working, right? You notice, you become aware. Then you notice after 1 hour, 2 hours, and ideally what you feel next day. That's called food timeline. Many people are eating mindlessly. They're just gobbling. So they don't even know what each food is affecting, how each food is affecting their system. Just because it is tasty at the tip of the tongue, you keep gobbling food, apparently it has not been good for you. So there are certain food, when you eat, you can notice you become super sharp. You can fully focus. Recent diet plans that I have adopted, I'm sorry, JayaShri, I will be sharing this information in the world publicly. I really like to play chess. So the most competent chess player I have met in my life, of course, is JayaShri, who is a computer science engineer, right? And he's so good at that. At the beginning, all the games when we played, it was only him winning, and I felt continuously bad. I remember I even told myself our chess is only a man's game, etc. But in the recent past, things have changed. I keep winning to a level it's so fascinating. So I I give all the merits and attributes, all the credits to this healthy diet that I have adopted recently, because when you observe and use this concept called food timeline, when you're really mindful about what you are eating and when you are eating and how it happens, what happens in your body, you know how your brain responds to each food. So you can avoid certain foods, you can increase certain foods, and you can bring a new balance into your life. Okay? So one last tip for those people who were asking about weight loss, specifically those who are wanting to lose weight in a short time, and preferably, of course, you have to keep a healthy weight for a long time, but even for a short time, let's say you have a health concern and you want to lose weight, this is my advice. This is how I do mostly. So, and I have applied it with even a man and few people I know, like, so this is applicable for both men and women. It's not only for women. You can lose weight in a healthy way and actually sustain a very balanced life, because many diet programs that people go, let's say keto, they call paleo diet, I mean, you name it, there are so many diets in the world. I have gone through a lot of diet programs and they suffocate people. So I finally figured out there's a way to eat healthy, also eat what you like, right? I mean, satisfy those, let's say, cravings and desires, but you are fundamentally healthy and you don't worry a thing about whether you're going to add some extra pounds or your health condition will aggravate. You don't have to worry if you eat in a particular way, in a continuous manner. So let me share a basic recipe for a weekly recipe for weight loss, and to keep it at that level. You lose it and you keep it at that healthy level. That is, you will fundamentally go for a high protein, high quality fats diet with low carb. That is the general guideline. High quality protein, high quality fats, and low carbs, minimal carbs. Even those carbs are complex carbs, not the empty calories like white rice or bread. Even if it is bread, it should be, say, kuragang, wholemeal bread, which still I don't recommend. However, if you want, if you are a fan of those breads, if you are a bread fan, if you like bread, go for the whole meal breads, right? But of course, if you eat a lot of root vegetables like carrots, beets, potato is an empty calorie thing. I don't know how good it is, but sweet potatoes are really good and healthy. And there are many other vegetables, root vegetables, that gives you enough carbs. So you go for a high quality protein, high quality fats, high protein and high fat, and low carb diet. So what is the plan for a week? You eat high protein, high fat, no carb or low carb. If you have too much of weight to lose, you are going for no carb. We call it spring season. Foods were available to us in life in seasons, but now after the Industrial Revolution, food is everywhere. So this is what disturbed our life, right? So we go into a kind of rhythmic way of eating. So in that, what we recommend is, if you have a lot of weight to lose, you go for high quality proteins and high fat diet and no carb for 3 days. Only fats and good fats and proteins for 3 days. That's called deep spring, we call it actually. But let's say you are not having too much of weight to lose, but you want to lose a couple of kilos and really bring it down because it helps your health condition as well. Then you will add some root vegetables, like we call it mild spring. You eat a lot of proteins and fats with some carbs for 3 days. Then you increase, like 2 days you increase the amount of carbs, especially females, if they are before their menstrual cycle. You don't do that no carb thing. That disturbs your hormones. So before your menstrual cycle, you are recommended or you are advised to increase the carb intake and of course good fats and good proteins. That's the general guideline for females. But for men, this is not applicable. They actually thrive with high protein and high fat diet, especially if they want to lose weight. They can go without carbs because their hormonal imbalances are not that much affected with the carb consumption. I mean, without carbs, they are okay. But if you are having, let's say you are a regular exerciser, like you are into heavy exercises or your job requires a lot of heavy physical activity, then you're supposed to definitely have some carbs in your meal. You should not avoid carbs in your meals. So 3 days, like I mentioned earlier, high fats, high protein and low carbs or no carbs. 2 days, increased amount of carbs, right? 1 day, 24 hours, no food, only water. It may be hard, but it's not hard. I'm telling you, you'll be surprised after passing 20 hours. First 16 hours is difficult, then go for 20 hours. Suddenly you have a massive blast and a huge upbeat of energy in your system with fasting. Enough of scientific research validates the importance of intermittent fasting, but here I'm referring to a 24-hour fast, even weekly basis. If you are someone really keen about your health and well-being, you can adopt that lifestyle. If not, at least for a month, right? So 1 day only water, or let's say you have a health condition, you're supposed to consume some supplements, medicine. Maybe then you have to go for some liquid diet like green juices, all leafy vegetables, greens and avocados with some olive oil. You make like a smoothie and you consume, but it's only liquid, right? And then of course, so 3 days like that, 2 days I mentioned higher amount of carbs. You increase the carbs, but mostly complex carbs, not simple carbs like rice, pasta, potato and bread. Then 1 day water fast and 1 day you are feasting. You eat whatever you like. Does that sound like a good plan? Right. So I think time is up. Today I spent all the 2 hours online with all of you. Thank you so much for being with me. I can't just talk without an audience. I appreciate your contribution. I appreciate your effort put into become a happy, healthy human being. So much love and blessings to all of you. Thank you very much for connecting. Okay? I send you a lot of loving, healing energy. I really want to tell all of you, especially those of you who stayed with me throughout the 2 hours, you made a miracle in your life. I think you really made a miracle. It's already dark here in Sri Lanka, right? So, internet, the technology, amidst all that, you sustained the 2 hours with me. I think that's a big deal. It's a miracle, right? Expect miracles in life. Feel grateful. Remember, go through this video again, content again. Take out the specific facts, implement it into your life. Those who missed the beginning of the session, please go to the beginning of the session. I have practiced with the group here, real time, a specific energy activating breathing and a body movement technique that you can do it while seated any time of the day. And I have shared many other ideas about gratitude, importance of feeling gratitude and a regular gratitude practice, the scientific reasoning behind it, and how to clean vegetables, the variety of foods, food intake, etc. Of course, those of you who are new to this session, if you're only watching this episode 4, I earnestly request you to follow the Healing Sri Lanka page properly and find out the first, second and third episodes as well. And we are here to add value to life. That's my whole purpose of being on earth. I'm here to enable from all those things that made you disabled. I'm here to unchain you, remove those mental imprisonments and set you free. That's my intention, right? That's our heart, our desire to give you that freedom, to help you be a liberated human being, right? And I'm here to empower you, not just setting you free like a bird out of the cage, but I'm giving you tools and techniques, concepts, philosophies, ideas to play with, to take with you, so you are not alone. You can sustain yourself without depending on us. The last thing I expect in my life, I am like sun. I always say the sun is you, and sun, like sun is there all the time. You are assured the light of the sun is there in your life, even at night. Be like a human being, be a human being like that. But if you become a vine, you start always getting into, needing support to live your life. I don't see why a human being need to live life like that. We are born to be free and independent and pure and complete in our real nature. That is our natural self, right? So my vision, my desire, my dream, and my ultimate intention is to help you enable, empower, and enlighten you to come home to your real home within. Okay? So may you be happy, healthy, free from all suffering, and be fully liberated. And let us wish the same to all living beings in all dimensions, across all time, space, realities. May all beings be well, happy, free from all suffering, and be enlightened. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Much love. Bye-bye. Until we connect. JayaShri. That is my greeting, right? JayaShri.